to be having Dr. Osama Asham, the International Human Resources and Training Consultant, who will be talking to us more about the communication in the society and the change of perception and its importance. Hello, Doctor.
Hello, Ahmed.
Well, something very important that we really lack, communication and dialogue.
Yes.
Especially when it comes between Christians and Muslims, and even between Egyptians, if
Yeah.
Muslims together or Christians together.
Yes.
Is there a theme that we can adopt these days in particular so that we can talk to each other and listen? Because this is something very important.
Yes. Actually, I want to explain the meaning of communication. There is two types of communication: intrapersonal communication and then interpersonal communication. So it calls double bonds. But it's not right. If you want to be right, it's a treble bonds. Start from the gut. If you have a good relationship between you and your gut, you satisfy with yourself, and then you can deal with the others. So the communication here, it's a treble bonds. Now, most of the communication is double bonds from me and to the other. So it's not correct. It's not continuity. It's not right. And then, if you want to change something, you must to change the perception. The perception from intrapersonal communication. Perception meaning what? Perception meaning the glasses which see the world through it. So, if you want to change the perception, because most of the people now see the other wrong. The problem, the perception. It's not clear. So clear your perception, and then you can see the other.
He perceives things according to his own
Yes,
ideas.
yes, according to the glass. So if you change the perception, perception shapes our attitude, and our attitude shapes our behavior. So if you want to change someone, change perception, then change attitude. Attitude meaning three categories: cognitive, and then emotional, and then behavior. So you must to start with cognitive, and most of Middle East people have a very special emotion. So you must to work with emotions, and then the behavior will change. So first change perception, and then the behavior will change.
So, Doctor, do you think that currently what is going on in the society with all the conflicts and the fights on air between the men of religion and anchors and so ever, do you think that this is becoming a result of a lack of relationship or a lack of connection with God in the first place?
Yes, this is the main point. The main point, actually, the relationship between the people and God. It's not from outside. No, I mean internally. Internally, what is the relationship between you and your God? If a relationship is good, must be dealing with other with good communication. So, on the other side, the difference between listening and hearing. Most of people hearing, not listening. What the difference? Hearing meaning a physiological process, and it's involuntary. But listening, it's a psychological process and voluntary. So our God give us 2 ears and 1 tongue. So we must to listen more than speak. And when I said listening, it's types of listening. First, it's called ignore. When you say to someone something and he ignore you, and the second step, pretending. The third step, selective. Most of people now selective. Takes the points what you want, and then reject the others.
Because again, it takes us to the perception.
Yes.
Because
yes.
he wants to perceive things according to his own will. And I think this is the most important thing. We ignore the cognitive.
Yes.
We depend on the emotional.
Emotional. Yeah, we ignore exactly the cognitive. So the behavior is the same. There is no change. So you must to it's not selective, it's not right. The fourth is active listening. What's the meaning of active listening? When I talk to someone, must to listen positively. Number one, listen positively by facial expression. And then, number two, don't react immediately. If someone reacts immediately, maybe reaction more than action. There is something, Stephen Covey said that the RNA, the relationship between RNA, action and reaction. Most of people, many of people, make something like exaggeration. Reaction more than action. Most of people now exaggerate. The media, everything, exaggerate the...
Not only the media.
Yeah. Most of people, that reaction more than action. And on the other hand, careless. Reaction less than action. That's not right. We can take a margin between careless and exaggeration, and we can deal. Because the responsibility, meaning what? If you can take it by divide it, response and ability. How can we respond? Ability to response. If you have an ability to response, you are responsible. So now most of people ignore others according to their perception, only their perception right, and the other perception is not right, ignore it. So now we can deal with other perception. You must to change the perception. If you change the perception, you have 3 C's to make number 4 change. Number one, C number one, capabilities.
Well, Doctor, before going to the
Yeah.
4 C's, if the media men are not responsible anymore and the men of religion are responsible anymore as well, who do we turn to? Who are the people in the society that we can be listening to?
I think we must to change the perception for the other Islamic or Christian, something like that.
Yes.
You must to communicate with others. You didn't know me, and I didn't know you. So how can we deal? It's not right. We can communicate together. Together, make a team. If you see the meaning of team as a word, T, abbreviation for together, E, each one, A, achieve, M, more. Together, each one achieves more. So if we can communicate and make a teamwork, a team communication, a wheel communication, you can take a result. But if you continue to ignore other perception and ignore to communicate with the same perception only, and the other it's not neglect, that's not right. There is no society. The society meaning communicate to the
But
other.
we have to admit that it is in our culture, teamwork does not exist. Like there are some, like in the United States, for example, on the opposite we have China. Usually they work as a teamwork.
Yes.
But before I ask you, I want to listen to the 4 C's maybe.
Yes, okay.
Yes, I know them because that's why I
Let's
want to
say
listen.
what
Yes.
was 3 C's. C number one, capability. C number two, clarity. If you want to change, you must be a clear vision. Have a vision, and then mission, and then objective, and then procedures and plan. If you have no vision, there is nothing to do. So you mix between all of this to change. Capabilities, clarity, a challenge. There's 3 C's, very important. A challenge. If I want to, if you put your hand like that, and I want to push your hand, you leave me to push your hand? No, you
there'll be
resist.
resistance.
So when I make a change, I'm forecasting the resistance. It's a management of a change. It's normal. You
You think that
must
this is what is happening in the society nowadays?
Yeah.
That a lot of people are pushing for change, and the others are not.
But they are
ready
working
for
on
it.
change without knowing how to make the change. I mean, this is something very important. You cannot change just like this out of scratch.
Yes, know-how. This meaning of know-how. It's not a word to change.
It is a technique.
Yes, a technique. Because now we will go to change. Okay, meaning what? What's the steps?
direction, which
What's your
steps?
vision? What's your mission? What's your objective? Objective, it's not a word like that. Objective, if you put an objective, must be smart objective. Smart meaning what? S meaning specific, M measurable, A achievable, R realistic, T limited by time. So
Usually our objectives are not achievable, but let me ask you, because it has to do also something I don't understand. Usually I say that we don't plan to fail, but we fail to plan.
yes,
So don't others understand what we are saying? Because every now and then I can see someone, an official or non-official, on TV or in all means of media, speaking and saying the same words.
Mhm.
All of us understand the same words.
yeah,
Yet still we have a problem. Some people believe that we don't have a vision, according to critics or analysts, activists.
yeah.
Why?
Because it is a theoretical, it's not a practical. No change with theoretical, must be practical. How can I do that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.
Don't we have a person who can do it?
We have, but we need a person out of box, thinking out of box. Egypt now need someone. He is a leader,
Not a manager.
not a manager. With a big difference between leader and manager. Leader creates leaders. Leader creates leader. Leaders thinking out of box. It's not a traditional way to change 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that's not right at all now. Now Egypt needs out of box. How can we solve the
He is
problem?
capable of bringing people
Yeah.
around him willingly to achieve the
Yeah,
objective.
it's not a matter of trusted people. What about experience? What about learning? What about healthy?
Maybe we lack the right person at the right place. We just have the wrong people at the right places, or vice versa.
Why do we always have this?
Because we have not a leader. You have a manager.
Yes.
The manager haven't positioned the people. The leader can position the right people in the right place. It's very important. Recruitment, hiring rights. So if we have a leader creates another leader, have a delegation. The leader have a criteria. Number 1, motivate the others. Number 2, delegate. There is no delegation. There is a centralization. There is no delegation in Egypt. Everyone take a responsibility and forever. No, must to delegate the other. Number 3, how to solve a problem and decision making. How to deal with, not with the reactions. We deal now with the reaction. We deal with actions. You are a leader in your position. So now we need something like that. Out of box. It's not a traditional way. You must know how. 1, 2,
We've
3,
never been
4.
proactive. We have never been proactive.
Yeah. Because if you see now, like you say, everyone take the same words. You can see the talk shows in the television every day. The same persons, the same words, the same everything. You have
Same
a-
ideas.
the same idea. You feel depressed if you see 2 talk shows. So enough, you make a depression. How can we solve? Give me a motivation. We have not a self motivation now. Most of people have a depression. You said that all black. No, that's not right. Motivation. You motivate yourself. You must to give me a motivation words. We can do it. We can.
Self-motivation is the most difficult one.
Yeah, but it's very important. It's a culture. We can implant it for the child in the schools. Must to motivate him. You must to tell him that Egypt will go through precious things, something like.
But doctor, maybe
yeah.
if we can actually motivate ourselves, what about the other conditions, the other people in the society? Maybe they will not be helping us out.
Yeah.
'Cause we can motivate ourselves, but the conditions are all against us.
Yeah, but motivation called infection. You can infect the others, so you can motivate the other by force. Because if you have a depression, if I'm a motivated one,
Yes.
and you have a depression, if we deal with others, maybe infected you by motivation words, or if you are strong, you can infected me with your ideas. So you must to infected the other with motivation, because motivation is a solution. Without motivation,
Yes.
there is no doubt that there is no solution. How to get out from the circle of depression, because motivation, something like that, which Brian Tracy said, that do will. If you do will, you will success, and if you will success, you will motivate and do much better, and will success again. It's a cycle of motivation. Depression, you didn't do well, you will depressed and no motivation, something
Doctor,
like.
before we conclude, because time is running, is there a way out of this circle?
Yeah, the way to find someone, a leader criteria, to get out the people, to infect the people with motivation. We can solve the problem, something like that. It's no time. If you have a rules, if you have a vision, if you have a plans, you can do it. It's not a difficult way, no, but must be to see clear. The vision is very important. How can we deal with others? How can we deal with people? How can we communicate? How can you present yourself? It's not the matter what you say, the matter how to say it. It's very important to present something. Yeah, if you see all the leader present himself well, I can satisfy with him. When I see him in television, I said that he is a leader. He presents himself well.
He walks like a leader, he talks like a leader, so
Yes,
he is a leader.
yes. He leads Egypt from take Egypt from depression to motivation. I think we can do it.
Dr. Osama Asham, the International Human Resources and Training Consultant, thank you very much for being with us today on Night Cruise.
Thank you, Ahmed. Thank you, Nashwa. Thank you.
Now it's time for a quick break, and we'll be right back again with you.